All right, so for section 4, we're going to solve simple interest applications. Now, it's really not that difficult. It's just we got to be careful because we have a formula, and the formula is very specific with what it wants. So, first thing I want to talk about interest. Interest is nothing more than kind of like something that you gain or something that you pay back depending upon if you're investing or you're borrowing. So, for example, let's say you had $1,000 and you put it into the bank for 3 years, okay? Well, your goal is to not only have this $1,000 at the end of the 3 years, but you want to earn a little bit of interest that the bank will pay you for allowing them to hold your money. So the bank says, hey, listen, we're in a nice place. You could put your money here, and what we're going to do is we're going to take that money, we're going to invest it, and then we're going to give you a portion of that money back. So after 3 years, you're not going to have $1,000. You may have, like, let's say $1,500. So you have your original investment, which was $1,000, plus $500 in interest that the money earned while sitting in the bank. All right. Now, I'll be honest with you. It's a lot more complicated than that, but that is just the 30,000 foot view of what we're going to be doing here. Okay. Now, when we talk about simple interest, this is going to be the easiest type of interest that you can earn. Okay. So simple interest has a special formula. It's really easy. Okay. It's I equals P times R times T. Now, each one of these letters has a special name, and it means something. I stands for the interest. Okay? And that's either total money gained or total money to pay. Okay? So more on that later. P stands for the principal. Now the principal is the amount invested. Actually, let me be more specific here. It's the original amount invested or borrowed, okay? R stands for the rate. All right? And this will be given as a percent, which you're going to have to convert to a decimal. All right? And then T, and this is the tricky one. This is the one where people always mess this up. In your book, honestly, it doesn't do like a great job at explaining this. T is given to you in time, and it's always going to be years. Okay? Now, in red, I am going to write this. If you're given months, all right, I want you to use this formula below to convert it because you're going to have to convert from months into years. So to go from months into years, okay, I'm just going to write this very general. So it's going to be the amount of months times, in 1 year, there's basically 12 months. So, for example, I'll just draw like a big line here. So, for example, if we have 8 months and we need to go to years, because you have to use this formula, okay? You're going to write 8 months times 1/12, which if you were just to look at this is nothing more than just 8 divided by 12 and rounded to 2 decimal places is 0.67 years, okay? So that is the number one mistake students will make when using this formula is they just think they can throw in any number for years, and the answer to that is no. It has to be years. So if you're given months, then you got to make sure you convert it. Okay? But other than that, this is very straightforward. It's just substituting in and finding out what it is. So here's just a simple problem, pun intended for simple interest. So let's find the simple interest. Earned after 5 years on a $200 investment with a rate of 8.5%. Okay? So first thing you want to do is just check. Make sure everything's in the units you want. So time is 5 years. That's good. $200, that's the amount invested. That's our principal. And then the word rate, well, that tells me that my rate is going to be 0.085. So interest is going to equal 200 times 0.085 times 5 years. So if you were just to get out a calculator, and like I said, I would just use a calculator for this from now on. 200 times 0.085 times 5 is going to equal $85. So I get it. This isn't a lot of money, but you're not investing a lot of money either. But if you walked into a bank with $200 in your pocket and they said, hey, you can give us that money for 5 years and we're going to invest it at a rate of 8.5%, you will earn an interest of $85. Now, the total amount after 5 years will equal the principal plus the interest. So if you walked in after 5 years, your original amount was $200. You got $85 in interest. So they would give you $285 total for a total amount after 5 years. All right? Not too bad. But you gotta understand, there are people, there are companies out there that invest millions of dollars. All right? And this isn't the only type of interest you can earn. You can do compounding interest. You can do continuously compounding interest. I mean, there's all these different types. It all depends on what the bank is given at that moment in time and how well do you understand your math, because you want to make sure you get the best deal possible. Okay? So here's another problem. Now this one's just, we're going to switch it up a little bit. So here's an example where we want to find the principal. So we don't know how much was invested. So find the principal invested if $145 interest was earned in 2 years at an interest rate of 4%. So here we still have this I equals PRT formula. All right. Unfortunately, we don't know the principal. So we're just going to do our substitution. We know the interest was $145. The principal, we have no idea. Our rate is 4%, but we need to convert that to a decimal. So it's going to be 0.04. And then the time was 2 years. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to take 0.04, multiply it by 2. All right, and that's going to give me 0.08, so 145 equals 0.08 times P. Now, if I just divide both sides by 0.08, P is going to give me $1,812.50. So that was our original principal. So we walked in with $1,812.50. We invested for 2 years at 4%. and it gave us $145 in interest. Not too bad. Okay, like I said, not great, but not too bad either. All right, so if you're looking at the examples I've done so far, first one, I found simple interest. Next one, I found the principal. So I guess in this example here, we'll find the rate. So let's find the rate if a principal of $9,000 earned $1,755 in interest in 3 years. Okay? So we still rely on our formula. I equals PRT. Now, the first 3 words tell us what we're doing. We need to find a rate. So we know our principal was $9,000. We don't know what the rate is, but we do know it was invested for 3 years, and we earned $1,755 in interest. So I got to solve for R. So I'm going to take 9,000 times 3, and that's going to give me 27,000 times R. And then I divide both sides of my equation by 27,000. So in this case, and you got to be careful because R is going to be 1755 divided by 27,000. So R is going to be 0.065. Okay, but we want this as a percent, so we move our decimal 2 places to the right. So the rate was 6.5%. Okay? All right, now we've done some pretty, I guess, standard problems. Okay? What I want to do is I want to do one where the time is a bit weird. Okay? So let's do this one. So Caroline got $900 as graduation gifts. And invested the $900. So invested it in a 10-month CD, which is a certificate of deposit that earned 2.1% interest. How much interest did this investment earn? All right. So here's one where we need to be careful. Okay. We know from the very last sentence how much interest. We know we're looking for I. So our principal is 900 and our rate is 0.021. That's the easy one. It's just if you look at the time, and I'm going to highlight it here for us, the time is given to us in months and not years. So what we have to do is we're going to use that little formula that I gave you above, okay? So we're going to take 10 and then multiply it by 1/12. Another way to look at this is just 10 divided by 12. And when you do 10 divided by 12, you're going to get 0.83 repeating. But we're going to round it to 2 decimal places. We're going to leave it as 0.83. So my problem turns out to be I equals 900 times 0.021 times 0.83. So getting out your little calculator, 900 times 0.021 times 0.83 is going to give $15 and rounding to 2 decimal places, 69 cents. So although it's not a lot of money, it's $15.69 that Caroline didn't have to begin with. So that's not bad if you ask me. All the other problems are just straightforward. Figure out, how much interest you earned or how much the principal was or something like that. I'm gonna do just one more problem, and then I'll call it a day from here. Okay. So here's our last problem. So Eduardo noticed that his new car loan papers stated that with an interest rate of 7.5%, he would pay $6,596.25 in interest over 5 years. How much did he borrow? Okay. So here what we don't know is the original investment. In other words, how much did he borrow? Now, if I scroll all the way back up, remember when I was defining this stuff, the principal is the original amount invested or borrowed. So in this question here, what we're going to be looking for is the principal. So let's go ahead. Let's just write what we know. Interest equals $6,500.96, or I'm sorry, $6,596.25. The rate is 0.075. Time is going to be, let me write the rate with a lowercase r. Time is going to be 5 years. It's the principal that we don't know. So 6596.25 is going to equal P times 0.075 times 5. Now, if we just do the math real quick, 0.075 times 5 is going to give me 0.375 times P on the right-hand side. On the left-hand side, $6,596.25 stays the same. And then we just divide both sides by 0.375 to give P equals $6,596.25 divided by 0.375 is $17,590. So that is the original amount borrowed. Okay. And that's going to be it for this video. We got one more section to deal with, and we already covered this. So it's just a matter of doing a couple examples and then calling it a day. All right. So I'll see you in the next one. Later.